to build a future where no one needs to come out anymore. Together, we can create a world where everyone has the right to love, to succeed, to have a family, and to live a full, happy life. Today, we have Susan and Yvonne. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Thank you for accepting my invitation. And if you don't mind to just tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you guys meet?
I'm Yvonne, and I have been with Susan for 11 years. We started off with a long-distance relationship. We actually met online. It seemed like it was going to be impossible, but yet we kept calling one another, writing one another, and eventually we just decided we have to meet. This is ridiculous, So I flew out to Boston. All my friends thought I was absolutely nuts. Susan picked me up at Logan Airport, and it just was very comfortable. I had been on some dates. It was so disappointing. I felt I'd be much better on my own than being with these desperate women who expected to move in 3 weeks after we met. I said that I'm not for that. But Susan had just kind of a little swag about her, and it was just kind of this lovely long weekends, and it was kind of exciting. I was flying to Boston. She was flying to LA. Yeah. And after a couple of years, it started getting harder. And it just came to the point where we had to make a decision. I have a fantastic job here. I work for Cedars-Sinai. I'm a cardiovascular technician, and I've been with my group for 27 years. And I think if I was 20 or 25, yes, I could have packed up and moved to Boston, but it was really hard for me to leave my job. So I had Susan, can you move out here? Can you move out to California? But, we made the decision, and I think she obviously was ready to make the move.
Yeah.
So she drove out here with her mom.
Yeah, I did. I was a bartender, and you know what? I'm like, I can find a bartending job in California. That's what we did. We decided that I would travel out here, try it for 6 months. At least that's what I told my mom, to make it easier for her. And she ended up traveling with me across country, which was amazing. 10 days, boom, packed up the car, threw my mom in the car, me, her, all my belongings, whatever I couldn't sell. We traveled across country. It was amazing. I've been here for 8 years. We've been together for 11. We just had our 11th anniversary, September 22nd. And,
congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Yeah. And I felt I had to do it. To me, because I was on the fence. Every time I try to say to my mom, I want to move to California, she cried and said, oh my God, I couldn't bear to be without you. I need you. And so I would back off. Just how things would turn out and things would go. And I don't know how this will play into the story, but I'm a breast cancer survivor. Here we are having this amazing back and forth relationship, all excitement. And then boom, I got diagnosed. And so I think that had a lot to do with that. I was healthy, got through it. I want to go. Oh, and Yvonne also, she said to me one day, listen, because I was having a hard time convincing my mother. She said, why don't we just do this? When you come out or when I go there, we'll just be friends with benefits. Simona, I was crazed over that. I thought, are you kidding me? I am not going to be here, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, while you're in LA. No. And so
it was kind of more like all in or all out for you?
That was it. I'm like, there's no way. So I said to my mom one day, I literally were at my very first appointment mammogram after I had recovered from the operation, I had a mastectomy. So we're sitting there and I turned to my mother and said, I think I'm going to try California for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
She, in her gut, she knew better. I was discontent there and I wanted to make a change in my life. And so happened I met somebody that's living, across the country. And that's how it all started. And that's how it went. And a lot of different things we've been through. It feels like we've lived a whole life together. Seriously.
Great introduction, you two. Thank you. So you are both now living in West Hollywood. Is that correct?
West Hollywood, yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Is it the rainbow community accepted in your area?
We live in what is considered a very gay-friendly area, right?
It's probably 80% gay.
Even in a place that is so quote-unquote acceptable, there is still a segment of the population, right, that will cause problems,
Right.
and hurt, racism and hateful things against minority group, i.e. people that are gay and just want to live their life.
Right.
You can't see it as much here because there's so much more lovely, beautiful people here, but it exists in pockets. I'm not naive, and that's something that does show up, but I live my life.
Good for you. So, how did you guys come out to your families and when?
It's a big cultural difference because I'm 62. My family is from Liverpool originally, and they moved to Canada in the mid-50s. So I lived in Canada the first 11 years of my life and then moved to Michigan. So I grew up in Michigan. I'm Jewish, and I grew up in a suburb, Oak Park. That's why I came out so late in life, because my family, I was afraid to come out. But then I moved to California in 1985 to Los Angeles.
Which age that placed you when you come out to your family?
When I finally came out to my family, I was 35 when I had my first experience with a woman who ended up being a soccer mom because she had a 3-year-old son.
Wow.
It's like my first relationship with a woman. I became a soccer mom like the second day, taking him to soccer. He was like 3 at the time, so we're going to soccer games, picking him up from preschool. Yeah.
I love it.
Funny.
I was with my first partner for almost 10 years before I even came out to anybody. I was living out here because I needed to pursue what, I was afraid. I was dating men. I actually enjoyed it. I think there's a spectrum where you could be like totally gay and hate men, but I enjoyed men, but I also had crushes on women. But I was really afraid to come out to my dad. Unfortunately, my father had passed away before I came out. And my family, some weren't surprised and some were, why didn't you tell us? We accept whoever you're with. Family was so happy that I wasn't alone. I had already been in a relationship. I helped raise my first partner's son. I was almost the one that was homophobic. Because my family was Jewish, religious, and I was afraid of what they would say. Everybody has been more accepting than I could have ever imagined. So that was my problem. Yeah.
So when did you knew that you were gay?
Oh, I had crushes on girls, though, like in junior high. But I always managed to go out with really nice guys, so it would kind of tempered what I was really looking for, and just afraid. I never had a bad experience with a man, but I always fantasized about women. But I was afraid. I was afraid to play what my dad would think, When I moved to California, that allowed me to really try to pursue what I really think I wanted.
Was it a big influence, the community, and just open your mind? There is more people like you, and you're actually safe.
Yeah, and I wasn't under the gun, or so I thought. I just wanted the freedom of not being around the family, and lead my own life, not have my dad around the corner.
What you will say to a teenager girl that she is afraid coming out to her family, worrying that she might be disappointing without knowing if that might be the case or not?
I am so sorry that I never came out sooner, because and it wasn't like my family were that difficult to get along with. I think I was afraid of disappointing them. Mm-hmm. And I was so surprised about how accepting they were, So I'd say take a chance and don't hold back. I went through a whole relationship and I still consider he's still in my life. He's 28 now, my stepson. Mm-hmm. And my family never got to hear all the wonderful things we did together. They were mad at me. Like, Yvonne, shame on you for not telling us about this. They were just so happy. And that was my big mistake.
Thank you so much, Miss Yvonne. Beautiful advice. And now let's direct our attention to Miss Susan.
All right.
Yeah, I'm 56. I come from a very nurturing, loving family. The best thing you could ever want, especially from our mom. Unbelievable. When I came out,
At age of
33. Listen, I had my first experience. I think I was 5 years old kissing a girl.
at 5 years old.
But yeah, I had my first experience when I was that young. And I had experiences when I got to junior high school. But I am my mother's daughter, and that person dates men and wears a lot of makeup.
Okay.
Right. So that's who I was.
Back then, yeah.
And came out at the age of my early 30s. It happened right after I ended a 5-year relationship with my then boyfriend. His name was Clifford. Okay. And he and I tried to get pregnant. I loved him. And to this day, I can say it. Like if I were to be with a man, it would be somebody like him. We completely jived, and I showed him what a woman could be like that loved him, loved sports, and I was a tomboy, and I was his dream come true. But for whatever reasons, the path was sown, and I went down it. When the relationship ended, because it was supposed to end, right? I'm like, here I come. Here I come, alternative lifestyle. I'm going to try you out because that's where the brain, the heart, the soul wanted to go. And that's what I did. I ventured.
Oh, wow. So I'm curious, how did you make that transition?
I ventured, and I met my first girlfriend when I decided that that's the lifestyle for me. I gave it all the benefit of the doubt. I couldn't wait to experience. So I went to the gay bar, and I had already in the mix had plans for a date with a firefighter, a guy. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to follow through. We go out for dinner. We're hanging out in his car. He really liked me. He gives me a kiss goodnight, goodbye. And when I was in my car, I said, lesbians, here I come, baby. I'm going. But, when I came out, very difficult to tell my mom that. It was a huge disappointment for a very short period of time. She said to me face to face, which scared the shit out of me because I love my mom, my whole world. She said to me, I feel like you just killed me. I feel like there's a death. Split second, Simona. I needed to make a decision whether I was going to be true to myself or to satisfy my mom, to get back in the closet, so to speak, and just to tell her that it was just an experience that I was having. I hung in there for myself. So my mother ended up going to PFLAG. It's a meeting, parents of gay,
lesbians and gays.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she tells me that she went to this meeting, and then she says to me, I bumped into a friend that I knew whose daughter is a lesbian, blah, 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 blah. She says, you know what, Susan? I don't need to go anymore. And so we have this conversation, and I looked at my mother and I said, Mom, I'm the same daughter that you are so in love with. From that point moving forward, my mother was the biggest advocate ever for me. And she said, you know what? If you're going to be gay, then I'm fixing you up with somebody that I know. Because I think she was afraid that I was going to be wearing flannel shirts and
mullets.
Oh, yeah.
Mullet.
She thought I was going to be wearing flannels and having a mullet. But yeah, she was my biggest fan and my biggest advocate, and fell in love with all my girlfriends, i.e. my lovely, beautiful gal, my partner, Yvonne. Long story short, I found myself in the police station because I was having an affair. I was dating a married woman. The gal's husband was vandalizing my car in retaliation for the fact that this woman, his wife, was no longer interested in the marriage. right? Or in him. So I found myself in the police station one day, and I wanted my mom with me because I was full for my well-being.
Right.
So I wanted her to know. This is how my mother found out I was gay. I had to break it to her that I had an experience with a woman. So she said, we're in the police station. I fill out the report. We're alone now. And my mother says to me, it was just an experience, right? And I looked at her and I said, I don't think so. That was the beginning of me coming out to my mother.
Right.
And I'll share this with you too. I don't know why I'm a lesbian. I genuinely love women. I love my girlfriend. I love women's bodies. I know why I'm a lesbian. But I had certain experiences as a young child. I don't know if those experiences
Led you there?
led me there. I am not sure. And I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. And I can be very, very, very candid. And I am so empowered. I am an empowered, amazing woman, right?
Right.
So those experiences, whether they had an influence or not, I think almost irrelevant because I'm so happy, fulfilled, and becoming even more fulfilled.
Yes, very well said. And irrelevant is the word, because if someone loves a man or a woman, regardless of this person's gender, why do we need to label them as being gay or straight and try to understand what it's coming from? Did they born like this? Did somebody did something to them? Why can't we simply respect them as people and respect the love they have for each other?
And here's how I think and feel, and to this day, I believe that when the right person floated across my universe, that was for me. The gender means nothing, really means nothing. Am I a lesbian? I lead a lesbian life. I'm with a female. I love my partner.
So, how is a lesbian life different than a gay life or a straight life?
It's not. It just depends that you're with a female, right? I don't think it matters, right?
What planted the seed for me to create this podcast was when my son come out and I encourage him to come out to his friends just for support. He said to me, Mom, did you come out as straight when you were a teenager girl?
Good question.
Wow.
And I realized, you know what? He's right. I didn't have to come out. Why does he have to come out? What's the difference?
That's such a mature question.
He is right on the money. Like, that kid is so much smarter than we are for saying just that. No labels, right? You are you. You are a personality. That's it. It has nothing to do with our sexuality, nothing to do with our race, our creed, nothing at all. We are a soul.
Amen to that. That's very well said, Miss Susan. Thank you so much. Now, going back to the experience of coming out. As a parent, I personally needed a second to reset everything in my brain. You know, the silly scenarios that I made for my child, that he's going to bring home a girlfriend, and now I need to replace that girlfriend with a boyfriend. I needed that reset.
Makes sense.
From your perspective, did you sense from your parents or your family that they need a minute to just step back and digest the news?
I didn't come out to my parents. My mother passed away when I was a year and a half, and then my father passed away. It was my family. I mean, my cousins, really, I was born very late in life. As far as father and mother, they were in their 40s. So I really came out to my cousins, and they were. So it was a very unique situation. Again, because I was already like 40-ish, and I think they were happy, honestly happy that I wasn't alone out here.
Okay.
And like I said, I think they were more upset that I didn't come out sooner. So, and your story is different than mine.
Yes, I mean, coming out in the police
Station.
It couldn't have happened in a better fashion.
I don't think there is another person in the world that could match that up.
Yeah, and I came out to my entire family, very supportive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very fortunate, I have to say. So what a blessing to have my two brothers. You know, when I came out to them first. We were, one of my brothers lived in Rhode Island. And we went out to play some pool, came out to them. It took me a few seconds to get the nerve up to say it, but I never had a qualm with my family, like no resistance. They didn't say nothing. There was nothing. But for me, once I came out, I thought, I wonder how my brothers feel. Are they feeling sad? Are they happy? Are they okay? I mean, I can't imagine that they didn't have some emotion about it. Like we said earlier, there's no title. They look at me, they look at Yvonne, we're meant to be.
Right.
You know, here's my thought. Those that you think won't get it, get it. Those that you think will get it, don't get it. I came out to my best friend. We did everything together. I came out to her with such jubilance, with such, like, I was excited. And you know what she said to me? God will not accept you. That is a sin. Blah, blah, blah. We clashed for years.
Wow. So painful.
Same thing happened to me. And one of my best friends, she worked with other cath lab nurses. A couple of them were gay. So when I came out, thought Sally would like embrace that.
Yeah.
And it changed. And she started fading away, fading away, fading away. And then we haven't talked in like 20 years. And all my other straight friends totally are cool. I mean, we're still friends to this day. We still do things together.
Mm-hmm. Now, most of the communication between friends, teenagers, is happening online. So a few months ago, my son came out on Instagram, and I was so worried. But yet, he proved me that he's confident, he's owning who he is, and he basically told me it's always going to be people, they will not understand or accept, and it's nothing I could do about it. This is who I am.
Wow. Well, and God bless social media then for that, because it gives them a safe outlet, right? They can be in the confines of their own space and say it whenever they're ready to say it and get support from those that kind of know or knew. And now they give all this wonderful support online.
That's right. So support is another positive way that we could use media. I'm curious, what kind of support did you guys had as teenagers?
When I was 15, it was 1971. There was no YouTube. There was no Facebook. I had crushes on a couple of girls when I was in junior high and high school, but I never acted on it. I didn't even know what that was. I didn't even know what a lesbian or gay was. I just know it had like weird feeling to me. It kind of was a good feeling, but it was an odd feeling because I figured I'd marry, a nice Jewish boy and live happily ever after. I just started doing it on my own.
What about later on in dating phase?
Yes, I felt I didn't need the support. I knew I was just going to just get out there. And at that time, I didn't go to bars. I wasn't that kind of person. So this is back in the early 90s when they had, the end Friday newspaper. They'd have like the dating, like men seeking men, women seeking women, men seeking women, women seeking men. And that's how I met my first partner. And so I didn't date around a lot. We kind of met. She was actually still married and she was in the process of leaving her husband. But she also knew, okay, got to find out one way or another.
Thank you for your sharing, Miss Yvonne. What a beautiful contrast to see that we are living different times. And in this modern age, we actually have extra support through media. And yet there is still more room to have more ways of supporting, especially the youth, and letting go whatever other people might think about them. It's just make me think of, I don't know who said that. The saying is, whatever people think about you, it's none of your business.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? They were programmed a certain way, which led them to their beliefs and their core values and whatever their family probably jives with, and or whatever the case may be. But yeah, and so that alone is the perfect opportunity for people. Just be yourself. It doesn't matter, because you don't know how the rest of society is going to respond, and nor should we even be concerned with that.
Very well said. And I'm really looking into finding different ways to how to support the teenager that is afraid to come out to its own family.
What you're doing is fantastic. Children, regardless of their preference, doesn't even matter. Children need to be supported and respected and listened to and lifted up, because these are the next set of humans, right, that are going to be empowering others and being out in the workforce and making an impact on this earth. And
they are our future.
They are our future.
So we do have responsibility as parents to just recognize that we are raising this future and we are leaving a print in how strong and confident this future is going to look like.
Yeah. And if you can continue to spread the word,
hopefully from these podcasts, it'll start like a movement, and hopeful though that you'll be the harbinger of now other people wanting to not being afraid to come out or supporting the gay community.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And that's my hope too. And I'm mostly hopeful that more people that they are not in a gay community will join. Because from what I'm seeing, people from gay community, sooner or later, they're comfortable with who they are. What makes them uncomfortable is the people that are not gay. So we need to attract more non-gay people into embracing the gay community.
Yes, that's right. I agree with that.
Homophobia is a gender-based discrimination. So I feel that we have to treat it as any other discrimination.
The difference is when something is specifically targeted because of that person is a particular religion, or they're gay or transgendered. That's really scary, because then, you have a fear, specifically because of what you are. And then that's what makes it so different. Your son said it best, you don't come out as a heterosexual person, and we all just want to blend in and just live our lives and just feel free to just self-express and not be shot down.
Yeah. Be and love and be loved.
That's it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah.
That's great. I love it.
I mean, I'm an advocate for young people.
Yeah.
I love to empower them and have them feel strong and confident and feel good about themselves.
Beautiful. So tell us, if somebody want to contact you, what would be the best way to do so?
Yeah, if anybody wants to contact me, this would be my email address, susanw@susanwolfcoaching.net. That's my email address.
So it's susanw@susanwolfcoaching.net.
Correct.
Thank you so much. I'm really, really appreciative of all your sharings. We get to learn so much, and I feel there is so much more to the story. Mm-hmm. And I'll be just honored if you come back.
We would love to come back. We would be very honored. This is absolutely amazing for us that you asked us. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It's been my pleasure. Thank you, ladies. Till next time, au revoir.
Au revoir. Au revoir.
Thank you for tuning in to Redefine Family, a Spark Transformation podcast. Feel free to share your story, knowing that your story could change someone's life. We invite you to spread the love by sharing our message with others. And leave your comments at spark@redefinefamily.com. Until next time, remember that you are the spark in your life. Just shine bright.